Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the home studio this evening to once again bring you the best in San Antonio metal. And it seems as of late, all the great music has been coming from all this next gen, all these youngsters out there, man, who continue to blow my mind. And one of those bands I was glad to have here this evening, the band Crossways, after much ado, is here on Rob's MetalWorks. I have with me Daniel, Jaime, Stan the man is here too. Welcome, gentlemen, to our program. Great to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thanks, man. Happy to be here, man.
Lots to talk about. People out there obviously may for the first time be hearing about Crossways. I remember I first heard the name when I worked with the band Morning Sun last year, and it kind of, they were like, Rob, you got to check out this band. And once I heard your music, I was like, yeah, these dudes are cool. So talk a little bit about the beginnings of Crossways. How long has the band been together? How did you kind of formulate this band? What was the vision for Crossways?
We were back in high school, so our other guitarist, Levi, he was a tiny little skinny kid in class, and he approached me asking me if I wanted to be in his band. And I said no, because he just looked like a weirdo to me. I was like, no, I don't want to be in your band, dude. He approached me the next day, and he told me there was a battle of the bands. Whoever won would get $10,000. I'm like, okay, dude, I'll be in your band.
What did you tell me what high school that was?
In Clark, but the battle of the bands was at a church next to our school.
Okay.
So we had 7 days to get ready, because he signed us up already, because he already hoped that I would join. And he's like, good, because I already signed us up. And I said, yes. I'm like, okay, dude, let's get something going. We had to play one song, and whoever played the best song at that Battle of the Bands would get $10,000. The funny thing is, he lied to me just so I could join his band. And, I joined. I became really close to him and the drummer at the time, Chris. We became really close friends, and we just started playing. We had a lot of member switches, and now we have Stan on bass and a new vocalist, Daniel over here, and that's kind of what happened. Just kind of silly little situation.
Was the name of the band always Crossways?
Yeah. He chose the name. I remember starting bands as a kid, back in middle school, and the toughest part is just choosing a name. It just wastes so much time trying to find a cool name for your band. And Levi already came up with the name. I'm like, you know what, let's keep it. I don't want to waste time. Let's just get this started. And, spending 3 hours just to make a band name is not worth it. So we just stuck with it, yeah.
I mean, one of the cool things that I love about Crossways is I think you guys truly, like I said, kind of represent this new generation of metal that's coming out. It's not, your traditional thrash. It's not, your traditional, kind of doom stuff. It's really kind of this proggy, for me, in my opinion, the words that I use are proggy, kind of punky, kind of all over the place kind of metal. I don't even know. It's kind of to me, it's the next step beyond metalcore. And when I think about, how young you guys are, you guys probably grew up on metalcore, whereas old people like me grew up on thrash. So you build upon that foundation. What do you say to people when they come up to you and say, oh, what kind of music does Crossways plays? I mean, obviously it's heavy metal, but what kind of metal?
Well, personally, I grew up with the Cranberries, the Used, especially Under Oath. I personally listen to a lot of spoken word, Hotel Books, or bands like Being as an Ocean. This is bands that I grew up with. And I guess our genre really comes from hardcore, but not really too much of traditional hardcore. It comes more of a melodic hardcore. I guess I could say when someone asks me what kind of music is Crossways, but we're very alternative, but we still keep a lot of the metal side in it.
Yeah,
I would definitely say that we're a melodic hardcore band. You have that really fast hardcore elements with the harsh vocals, but then all these intricate melodies with we had 3 guitarists. You got all these harmonies and just all this you really get these really awesome sort of things with it.
Yeah, and I remember when you're a kid, your parents introduce you to their music. So I grew up listening to Queen, the Beatles, and Guns N' Roses when I was a kid. When you turn 10, that's when you find your own bands to listen to. When you're in high school, you listen to what your friends listen to. In high school, you listen to whatever you find. And I think with us, we grew up with what we listen to, and we still love it. And we try to incorporate almost a lot of the influences that we have as much as possible. Like what Daniel said, like the Cranberries is like one of the bands I grew up listening to, and we love like older shoegaze bands like Slow Dive and like My Bloody Valentine. Like even though we're not that like shoegazy, we still have that like shoegaze element. And like I remember being a freshman and my friend Jack showed me like hardcore music, bands like Rotting Out, Expire, Terror and all that, and like
Madball?
Madball and all that, like, you know. And I'm like, wow, there's like a different world I never knew. I was, you know, still listening to like metalcore bands, you know, like August Burns Red and stuff. And like after all these like stages of like listening to different musics, I guess that's what like influence is the sound. It's all that like stuff I was engraved into my brain at the time, you know. So
You guys, you know, despite the fact that you haven't been around too long as a band, have kind of, it seems to me, have kind of progressed at a pretty rapid rate. Not only with your latest release, but also kind of the quality of what we're getting musically, not just in the songs, but in the production. So in December, you released "I Shall Sleep in Peace Until You Come to Me." Holy smokes. What a title. Thank you guys for giving me the CD when I saw you at Alamo City. And, you know, I took the CD home and I really I just heard the few tracks that you had kind of sent me, Jaime. And then when I really got the CD, I was really kind of able to hear the composition holistically. And it was I was really taken aback, man. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I said, this is a quality, not only just a quality piece of work, but really just like a nice kind of composition as a record. You know, the artwork and everything else that was involved within it. So when you guys, how long did it take before you guys formed that you guys were kind of putting these songs together and kind of said, look, this is going to be our CD?
Well, man, I guess you can say like the pre-production on that like was the longest like of all. Like we've had those songs for like a good 2 years. We were sitting on them,
That
and
was way before I was in the band.
yeah, before
Oh, okay.
Because our guitarist that we have now, he used to actually be the vocalist. I used to be their friend since high school with Levi, and there's 2 music videos out right now, which obviously I'm not in them, and it's Levi on there. And we decided just to move up and do like a member change, and I think that was the best for the band at least. And production, they had all these songs they gave me, and I was like, okay, well maybe we just gotta re-record all of them and put your vocals on them. And there was a lot of changes, a lot of instrumental changes. Yeah. So I went to Jaime, spent hours of arguing and being in his room, of doing takes after takes, of doing pre-pros. And it just came along to being what the record is now.
yeah.
And after like mixing and mastering, everything came out all right, and we just took a lot of time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Something?
Well, what's really cool about it, they've been a band for a long time now, and I'm one of the more recent additions, but we've had these songs for a long time, but we've never been able to record, just like something always came up or just whatever the case. So we've had a lot of time to really get the instrumentation really, really nice. And once we finally got Daniel, we had that perfect. But yeah, you're talking about the production, like you might not even believe it was recorded in his bedroom, you know. And it's pretty good. I mean,
It sounds great. I remember you telling me when I saw you at Alamo City, like, Rob, I recorded these tracks in like my home studio. I'm like, holy shit, it sounds really fucking good.
Thank you, man. It's funny because I listened to the old demos of the songs, and they're like completely different from like what we released, just because we spent so much time like hitting each crack into the songs. Just like we really poured our souls into that record. Like we poured our like heart and creativity into that. Like Daniel, I pushed him to the best of his performances. Like we argued like every day, just like recording, like we would hit heads and just like not until we were happy. And like I think that's what creates like the perfect sound. You know,
that's part of that conflictive chemistry helps each other to kind of bring out the best.
We were meeting up almost every day, and every time we meet up, we would argue so much where he would like have me confused, like, does this guy like not like me? like why am I in this band? Like, why am I doing this?
He was probably thinking, I'm gonna fire this motherfucker.
And the thing was, like, I grew up before I was in the band. They were my best friends, and I was very confused. And it's tough love, you know. I love that, and it gets the best out of me, the best of my ability, the best way I can work. And to be honest, that's what I expect from a producer. Not that he's a producer, but when we do ended up hitting the studio, which we are, that's what I expect, is to have everyone push me the best of my limit.
Yeah, exactly.
So many cool tracks on this CD. You know, one of the things I love about it musically is that, you know, it kind of goes up and down. And like one of my favorite tracks is that Where Have I Been? God, I love that song, man. I can listen to it over and over. You know, it's just like, it just really has a lot of sonic background in it, and yet it's taking you through these valleys and these peaks. Lyrically, you know, again, I like how you started the CD with that kind of, I guess, that lyrical quote. Lyrically, what are you saying about these songs for people to hear?
Well, that record, it kind of, I don't know how to explain it, like, in a short way, because like the first song, it comes from a quote from this old Irish pub song called Danny Boy, and at the end of the song it says, "I shall sleep in peace until you come to me." And I was in choir and I had to sing that as a recital, and I remember being a senior and I sang that at my recital, and it clicked in my head, like, that's what I want like the record to be about, because like basically, like, it's a metaphor to me. What that means, it's like a father loses his son in the war, and the son's dying for a noble cause, just kind of like Jesus died for a noble cause for us. And it's like that kind of metaphor from that song is what I took as like a lyrical expansion throughout the whole record that we made. Like songs like Where Have I Been, like you know, like this song's about like struggling with faith, you know, like I'm not a perfect person. Like, I've done a lot of terrible things in my life. And it's just like, where have I been? It's like, damn, like, I hate where I'm at. Like, like, you feel worthless, you feel pathetic, you feel like embarrassed of who you are. And, you know, but songs like Until You Come to Me is the first track. And to me, it's like I've always been like terrified of death. I've been terrified of dying, you know. And that track, like the first lyrics is, I'm not so scared of death. Let the reaper take my head. There's the first lyrics in that track, and it just kind of represents like I need God to rid my fear of death. You know what I mean? Like I need that.
Rid your fear of death.
Exactly, yeah. And like the whole song is like, when I die, it's a gift, because you know I'll be in His arms. That's basically like at the end of the songs is like, into your arms in peace, because like death is a promise to us. Like that's something that we all know is going to happen eventually. And like my day could come today, my day could come yesterday. And that's what was like terrifying me. Like even as like a senior in high school, it's like, well, I could show up and wake up and my world can end at that very moment. So I feel like that record, like it kind of goes through like anyone's life. Like I feel like it could be relatable even if you're not a Christian or if you're not a person who believes in God. Like even our last track is Heal My People, which kind of just like at the time, like, you know, I'm a human, like I struggle with depression and anxiety, like we all do, you know, we all struggle with like these human emotions that we're born with. And like that song was just kind of about like heal my people, because like everyone's imperfect, everyone needs healing, everyone needs like something to like just cure like the muck in our hearts. So, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what the songs are about. It's like a kind of like a list of like just like our, I guess, like tribulations and like whatever happens into our, you know, lives and all that.
And I, you know, God, man, I feel what you're saying, dude. Thank you so much for sharing all that. That's pretty deep, you know, because I think we all deal with pain in a certain way. Some of us medicate, some of us, you know, do other things. But thank you for sharing that. You guys kind of jumped out of the gate pretty fast in support of this record. It dropped on the 8th, and then like a week later, you were on tour. You did like this mini tour with Morning Sun. Obviously, we love those dudes too, man. Great band, great package. I would have loved to seen it. Tell us a little bit about Daniel and Stan. Tell us a little bit about how about that tour went.
It was great. It was a great tour. It was really not really last minute, but I knew that we had to do something. Once it was released, I was thinking, okay, well, we have to at least try to promote this, advertise this as best as we can. So we went to Gerard, and Gerard was really cool about it. I was like, yeah, man, I'll book you a tour. It'll be
Gerard Mora from Darkness Divided.
He was really cool with it. He, especially budget-wise, and once he booked it, we ended up hitting the tour. I asked Emmanuel, I was like, hey man, would you like to hit the road with us? We're supporting a record. We're advertising this record, and we would really like to have you guys come with us. And we were down with it. They were going to go with us in the same van. They ended up taking their own route way, and we ended up renting a van, and we went out there, and it was great. We had so much fun. It's something that really made us open our mind and be more aware of our surroundings and what we're going to do with this project.
Yeah.
Instead of more of just a hobby. So I thought it's not so much of the budget, it's so much of just hard work and hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're out there. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Being out there and, touring in the van and, getting pumped up to do a show and, you're tired and you're not feeling well.
My worst fear is just like being stuck in the middle of nowhere without like no repairments or like an extra tire.
Oh, that's going to happen. That's going to happen to you.
Exactly.
That's going to happen to
I'm
you.
ready for it, but I'm excited to just hit the road again and keep doing more stuff. Like, this is not over for me.
And Stan, were you part of that run?
Yeah, I was, and the whole thing. I mean, it was really a dream come true, and kind of like how Daniel said, it was really eye opening. Like, we've been a band for a bit, but to finally hit road, not only was it like everything we had all dreamed of, and we had the most fun like ever. I mean, it was just amazing. Like, we'd get encores here and there, and like we're barely anything, Like that was awesome. It's small little victories like that, like. It made it really awesome, and it made us really understand like the whole experience as a whole, like being sweaty and just spending all this money and like meeting all these people and just the whole thing. It kind of showed us like, like this is kind of nice, but we definitely know that this is what we really want to do, and we definitely want to keep making this happen. Like he said, this isn't it. We're keep going.
It's not very much of like being naive, and it's like, okay, like every band wants to tour. Yeah. Every band is trying to go out there and do it, but it's more of just of like having faith and just trying to save up and put our life savings into this because it's something we're very passionate about.
It may seem like a uphill struggle. It may often seem like that, but the little victories every night, the new fans you gain, the love that you gain, it makes it all worth it. You guys have continued to stay busy. I heard just recently on social media that you guys are back in the studio recording new shit. So tell us about these new tracks. What's different about recording these new tracks now that you guys are at this stage with the band than maybe when you recorded the debut?
Well, this time we're hitting into a real studio up in Austin. We got our friend Thomas, and he's working with a guy named Richard and Taylor. We have a session drummer doing the drums for us. At the moment, we don't have a drummer, so he's recording the drums over there at their studio up in Austin. We've been hitting it for the past like 3 weeks. We're just recording 2 songs right now. Yeah. We're still getting vocals done, and drums are getting done. Like, we kind of had a rough start at the recording process because like
it's very different from being in this room.
Yeah,
I guess you
exactly.
can say.
Are these like new songs or are these kind of older songs?
Really new songs. This is while we were on the road, we were gathering up like new songs, jamming and whatnot, and these songs we came out. I was like, okay, well we gotta really put into it. He made his pre-pros at home, and we decided, yeah, we gotta hit a studio because personally, like, the record's good. But it could have been a bit more better, at least producing wise. Like, the record could have been sound much better. The drums, besides being like programmed. So we wanted a whole new change. We wanted to know what it's like to be in a studio, to see that environment. So obviously our first session was kind of weird because like everything's like fast paced. You don't want to spend too much time. You want to keep everything on the rail, So it's something that we're all like trying to struggle with, but it is a process of being professional.
Yeah,
that's cool. So when do you anticipate, or how do you anticipate that these songs are gonna kind of make it into the market?
We're planning on finishing these songs in February. I don't think we'll release these until like June or something. Cool. We're gonna wait things out for a bit. We were planning on doing a music video for one of the tracks off the record. But at the moment, we were gonna do Where Have I Been, because that's my favorite track. We were gonna do a video for that, but at the moment we're just kind of waiting things out, just getting everything ready, because at the moment we're not as prepared as we thought we were gonna be to get these things that we wanted to do ready. But we're hoping to get these 2 songs out by June or what's the month before June? March? May. Yeah, June or May. Yeah.
Guys, as we end out, just a couple of poignant questions. First of all, we're still early in 2018. What would you guys like to see happen? What would you guys like to accomplish or do this year?
Well, we just want to hit the road. We want to get ourselves out there. We started the year a little slow, more slower than I expected it to, like more than I planned to personally. But we really just want to hit the road already and just get things moving again. Things happen. It's like stages in bands. Like this happens all the time to a lot of bands. Sure. They fluctuate. The seasons change, but I have hope, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be up and coming again anytime soon. So
I think you guys are off to a really good start. I mean, look, you're on Rob's already, going your first fucking record. As young as you are, usually I kind of wait. I let bands kind of simmer until I can kind of really see the best in them. And I was really, really, really impressed with the EP, and I really enjoyed it. I listened to it a lot more than you know. Okay, guys, as we end out, Stan, any last words for the people out there with regards to Crossways who will see this interview?
Just be expecting us to hit this year hard and fast. I mean, we're real excited for not only the tour we have planned in the summer, that, and then just the show we got in March 17th, I believe, here in San Antonio.
Okay, cool. Tell us.
And where's it at?
with Outlier.
Outlier. It's a good show. It's at Fresca. It's a new venue that I haven't heard of.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. That's where we played our EP release. Right. It's the first date right before we hit on tour.
Nice.
And it was nice. It's a nice venue. It's pretty small. It's good to get your local people to come out and make new friends, and just trying to hit the road. That's pretty much it. Just making music, keep on making music, spread the word of God, and that's pretty much it.
Nice. Jaime, any last words, sir?
Stay lit, my friend. Well, just thanks for watching. I mean, whoever's ever watching this, and thank you to anyone who supported our band. Just anyone who bought the record. We see the numbers online, and we see who how many people purchase it. It's just it's cool, people actually bother to buy it. Sure. And just anyone who supports this band, you have my heart. I'm in debt with you. Thank you.
Guys, it's been my pleasure. To have you guys here in the MetalWorks room. Thank you for coming and sharing all about your brand new record. Remember, everyone, the CD is called I Shall Sleep in Peace Until You Come For Me. Holy crap. I get tired every time I say that. But nonetheless, such a killer, brutal, heavy piece of San Antonio metal. You people tonight, after you watch this interview, go on to iTunes, go anywhere on social media, listen to this music. You will dig it. You saw the band Crossways only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.